everybody. So tonight I am obviously enough going to be discussing Slap-A-Ham Records. This was, of course, the record label started by Chris Dodge of Spaz fame. He started the record label, I think, in like the late 80s, like 88 or 89, and I know it ran till 2002. Slap-A-Ham, unfortunately, had to close its doors, apparently as the result of 9/11. I read in an interview with Dodge somewhere, I think it was after Tank Crimes re-released all of Spaz's stuff. I think it was that period that I read this article, or I read this interview with Dodge, where he said the main reason for Slap-A-Ham having to shut down back in '02 was because of September 11th. Because what happened as a result of September 11th is people stopped spending money for a while after there. Everyone got kind of scared. Nobody wanted to leave their house. And so people closed their wallets, and unfortunately, small labels like Slap-A-Ham, they're always going to be the first victims and that sort of thing, because Slap-A-Ham was not a big label, not by any stretch. And then you couple that with the fact that Dodge was more of an artist. Dodge is a musician and a songwriter and not a businessman. I think he was also releasing way too many records. Like, by the time they closed their doors, I think they had like 100 releases, 60 of which were CDs, a ton of full lengths from a bunch of killer bands. Copse, Hell Nation, Autophobia, Spaz, of course. Ancient Chinese Secret was on there. Fuck on the Beach was on there. I mean, Hell Nation's Cheerleaders for Imperialism, that has to be just about like one of the best records and one of the craziest records I've ever heard. And the coolest thing about Hell Nation's Cheerleaders for Imperialism is that I find that Chris Dodge's bass playing on Cheerleaders for Imperialism is almost crazier than anything he played with. With his band, Spaz. It just seems, where is the record? I got them all here somewhere. There it is. I have so many Slap-A-Ham records, and the weird thing here is, I'm not sure what happened to most of my Slap-A-Ham records. The only ones I was able to find for the sake of this video were these ones here. So that means that the rest of them, I own about probably 40 Slap-A-Ham CDs. I don't have any of their 7 inches or their cassettes. I don't know if Slap-A-Ham released any cassettes. If they did, I don't own it. But yeah, so the rest of them, I don't know where they are. That means either my buddy Billy still has them from years ago, or they're in storage somewhere, which either isn't a great answer. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know. Oh my God, this is coming from a time when you had to use money orders in order to get shit like this from small record labels in the United States, especially considering that I was so isolated up here in Canada. I have so much of it. Like, there is the money order. I will, of course, put in better scans of everything and make sure that I toss it up on screen. Not that the money order really matters. I mainly just kept this money order because it said Slap-A-Ham Records, or this copy of the money order, sorry, because it said Slap-A-Ham on it, like in my writing. And that's exactly how it used to be. You would get your hands on a super fun catalog from a label like Slap-A-Ham, and then you would find your way to the order sheet in the back, and then you would tally it up according to whether or not you wanted it shipped surface or airmail, or whether or not you were an international customer, which I was, unfortunately, being in Canada. And you select what you want from their fucking seriously badass selection of records. Like, oh my God, dude, Fuck on the Beach's Endless Summer is like one of the catchiest things I've ever heard in my life. God, I love that record. But yeah, I kept the catalog that I got from Dodge like a million years ago. And the cool thing about this is, again, I will be putting up full scans into the video because I don't think anybody that does care about this, I don't think this is exactly going to suffice, right? But the cool thing about this one is on the back here, he said that he liked the artwork that I sent in. Adam, wow, you blew me away with the artwork on your order. Thanks. I hope you dig the goods. Cheers, Chris. So that's awesome. And the other thing that was totally, totally rad about this period was I was actually sort of having a discussion of sorts with Dodge through electronic mail, which at this point, for anybody that doesn't know, this would be circa 1998, 1999. 99, yeah. No, actually, it wouldn't be 98. It'd be 99 to around 2002. And of course, email was brand new, and we were all so impressed. Like, we had our 50 free hours from AOL Canada, and I was now conversing with this dude who was in this band that I absolutely worshipped. The other cool thing, too, just as a side note, this has nothing to do with Slap-A-Ham, but it was at this point that Mary Harron's American Psycho was going to be released with a then unknown Christian Bale. And the author of the book American Psycho, Bret Easton Ellis, had decided to send out a number of emails to people if you wanted to. All you had to do was sign up through the American Psycho website, and you would get new emails from Patrick Bateman just to see what he's been up to since the 80s at the end of the book. And I thought that was totally awesome too. So I was doing both. So I was talking to Dodge, and I wonder if Chris even remembers this, because I know he's out there somewhere, and it's not like he's like fucking James Hetfield from Metallica, like he's some massively successful, super rich dude in some massive band that no one can ever reach. Chris Dodge is like a regular dude like you and me. And so he's somewhere doing something. And I wonder if he remembers talking. I was mostly pestering him. He was being a really good sport. But nevertheless, I was talking to Chris Dodge a fair bit, which made me feel really important at like 18, 19 years old, while I was getting these kick-ass emails from Patrick Bateman, the fucking psycho from American Psycho. Quickly, too, the emails from Patrick Bateman weren't really psychotic anymore. He got married, settled down, had some kids. Little disappointing. But yeah, so, I mean, I used to have so many of these. These are Spaz stickers. I have Spaz stickers. I used to have like dozens of these. This is the only one I have left, unfortunately. And I used to have Slap-A-Ham record stickers. Me and my buddy Billy, we had so many of these because whenever you ordered from Slap-A-Ham, they always tossed in a handful of stickers. Some Slap-A-Ham, some Spaz. That seemed to always be what you got with Slap-A-Ham or Spaz stickers. And I kept, it's on a long story with the phone. I'm not going to bother going into it now. But there's one of the Slap-A-Ham record stickers. And unfortunately, these are the only two that I have left after all these years. After having like 100 of them, I only have, well, one left. And this, as you can see, has been used. But it's still there. It's totally awesome. And so what happened was, right before Slap-A-Ham shut down, I knew they were going to shut down because it was on the website. It was saying that unfortunately we weren't going to be able to keep the doors open much longer, yada, yada, yada. And so I had done up another envelope with the intention of sending it off to them. And essentially the way this went, now this is a little too cut and dried. This isn't exactly actual factual. But Monday I went, checked out the website, was damn, I got to order some stuff. They're closing down. Monday night I did the envelope. Tuesday I went back to kind of finalize what I wanted and see if there was anything else I wanted to toss in. And the website was gone. And it was like, just like that. And so that's why I still have this envelope that I did up all cool and shit for Slap-A-Ham. Because I never got the chance to send it because, like I said, unfortunately, the label disappeared. And it, again, that isn't exactly the most accurate telling. It wasn't Monday to Tuesday, but it was like that, and the label had shut its doors. What else did I want to say? I still have a Spaz button, too, on one of my jackets. Where the hell is that jacket? I have no idea, but I still have one Spaz button left, too, and if I can find the jacket, I'll take a picture of it and put the Spaz button up. Not that it really matters, but it's cool that after all these years, I managed to keep my hands on all of this stuff because, God, these are the first things to go. Having this catalog, I will argue, is probably the most, this is the most exceptional thing I think I've kept from any of the labels. It's the fact that I still have a paper catalog from Slap-A-Ham Records. That is so amazing. I mean, if you look at all the records, like, I mean, my God, like, there's the Capitalist Casualties here. This was like their, God, how many songs are on here? There's 74 songs. It collects a bunch of splits from them. This record was absolutely killer. Hell Nation's Cheerleaders for Imperialism. That's one of the best records I've ever heard in my life. Oh my God, Pave Your Grave. I fucking love that song. And then there's Sweatin' 1. There's Fuck on the Beach's Endless Summer. You got Spaz's Sweatin' 2. You've got, wait, hang on. Oh my God, I fucked this. This is not a Slap-A-Ham release. This is a Thrashcore 625. This is Hyrax Max, the drummer's label that shouldn't have been in there. You got Power Violence Forever. And then the East-West Blast Test with Chris Dodge and Dave Witt. My God, this is like the most clever record ever made. You had, Dodge was out on the West Coast, and you had Witt who was out on the East Coast, and neither could afford to get together in order to make the record together. So what Dodge had Witt do was do a bunch of just random drum tracks, all 30, 40 seconds long, and then Dodge would add the music in on his end out west once he got the finished drum tracks from Dave Witt. Relapse would end up re-releasing this with a new cover, I think. And then there's, of course, Sweatin' 3 and Jakobses Einstwillige Volnichtung, which is butchered, that pronunciation, which means total annihilation. That electronic start and stop thing that they did on this, I don't know how they pulled that off. it sounds like they had to cut it using like an editor, but I know they didn't. That was fucking crazy. And then, oh my God, the other thing I used to love about ordering from Slapaham was they had this magazine called Short, Fast, and Loud, and there is the release from all the bands that were featured at some point in the or the zine, sorry, Short, Fast, and Loud. I had, like, God, 4 or 5 copies of Short, Fast, and Loud, and unfortunately, considering that they're all printed on newsprint, they have unfortunately long since disappeared, which kind of sucks. My floor is a complete and total train wreck mess now. And again, like I said, I will put up like high quality scans of the catalog. I'll put up everything technically, but I'll definitely make sure that I put up scans of the catalog because the catalog is just amazing. But my cameras are starting to die, so I'm getting out of here. So like always, thank you so much for hanging out with me for, wow, almost 12 minutes. Well, I discussed Slapaham Records and the massive impact that they had on me and my one friend Billy in particular. It's unbelievable how important this label was to me when I was a kid. Like going to the bank and getting a money order was like the most exciting thing when I knew it was going to be for a Slapaham order because the music was just so perfect. But I'm getting out of here. So like always, don't forget that you guys kick ass. You guys are absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm done. Have a good night.